Good afternoon guys, I am back with another video. Today's video is about how you should come across a good used car. Suppose you are willing to buy a used car, and what are the things you should watch before selecting or zeroing on that particular car. So I will today show you some important tips with which you can find out a suitable car for you. And if you have still not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe my channel for more videos like this, because your subscription gives me encouragement to make more videos for you. So please do subscribe. Now before zeroing in your selection, what are the things you should see before you have decided to purchase your car? The first will be the visual inspection of the entire car. I will see the body line. If there is any unnecessary deviation of body line, that is very important. And normal minor dents and bruises may be there, but the body line should be intact. That is very important. If you find there is some deviation in body line, you will understand that there has been a heavy accident or heavy collision. Although they change the panels, but still it can be easily find out that there is a deviation from the body line. That is one important aspect. So we'll take an inspection of the entire body. So you see, I will see from this angle and check the body line, whether the body line is in perfect condition. So this is the first thing you should follow, the appearance of the car and whether the body line is intact or not. Now the next thing will be, I will check for whether there is any collisions or accidental damage. That you can easily find out by removing these weather strips. I will show you. If there are any welding spots, if you find there are some welding spots, or if the finishing of this particular areas of every doors you find in abnormality, you will understand there has been a major body work and the car was involved in an accident. So we will check all the weather strips. Mind that this particular inspection is very important and you should definitely follow this procedure. Then check this particular door seal areas. If you find any welding spots, or if you find this particular bolts are of different sizes, or the company stampings are missing here, you will understand that there has been some repair work on this area and this area has been involved in an accident. So like this, I will check all the door areas by removing these strips and see whether there is any repair work involved. Now next will be the door particular, these areas, the door seal areas where the door welding, factory welding is there. If you find this particular area, this is actually sealed by the company. When their repairing work takes place, this particular seal gets missing, because it's difficult to seal like this in a normal workshop. So this is also another very important area which you need to inspect in all the doors. And if you find this intact, it seems that the car has not been involved in any major accident. Similarly, we will also check the boot area. The boot area is also very important, because if there is any rear end collision, you will find welding joints around these tire wells or these particular areas. So you will understand this particular area had some collisions. So this is also very important. Check the door areas. I have checked the rear boot areas. Next I will come to the engine area. Come to the engine area. First check these two strut bar areas. If there is any collision, you will find these strut bar areas where the factory welding is there. This particular sealants will be missing. So you should definitely inspect both the strut bar areas if there is any abnormalities. If you don't find any abnormality, you will understand that frontal collision has not taken place.
Really?
My second inspection will be check for any visual leaks. Remove the engine cover. Not everybody will be willing to allow you, but convince him that you want to see if there is any oil leaks or not. You check the head areas. If there are any oil leaks, or if you find that the entire area is sweating with oil, you will understand that there is some oil leaks from the engine. Do check the engine oil also, which is very important. The engine oil should be, normal oil should be there. This is a diesel engine, so it's a bit black, and you see if there is any traces of coolant or any other materials in the engine oil. So that will indicate that there are some abnormalities with the engine, and you may need to overhaul, or you need to incur heavy expenses for the engine. So also do check all the hoses, electrical connections, everything is in order or not. If their proper coolant level is there, and whether the coolant is also mixed with engine oil or not, because in case of diesel engine you need to check that. If you find this coolant is mixed with engine oil, there is something wrong with the intercooler. In petrol cars you need not require that. Also, if there are any leak with the power steering fluid, or whether there is any abnormal noise from the power steering pump, then you need to overhaul your power steering pump. If you are going for an older car like this, so this needs to be checked. So that's the engine visual inspection. Now start the engine, and if you can carry a multimeter with you, check the battery voltage while starting the car. And do ask the owner to, if the battery bill or warranty card is available, so that you can ascertain how old the battery is. If the battery is more than 3 years old, you may have to consider that replacement is coming on your way. So be prepared for that. I will start the engine and check whether there is any abnormal noise. You have to listen carefully. If there is any abnormal noise, any squeaking noise or any abnormal rattling noise is coming from your engine or not, and do raise the car gradually. Whether there is a belt squeaks, or after giving the RPM to a decent level, you check whether there are any smoke from your engine. The engine, whether any smoke, abnormal smoke is coming from the engine side or not. So that is to be taken into consideration. Normally diesel engines emit a little bit of smoke in cold start, and there are no such abnormal noise or squeaking from your belts, drives, or from your steering pump. In the next step, we will check the tires, whether there is enough tread or not. For this, you can take a 1 rupee coin. With the help of a 1 rupee coin, you can easily see what is the depth of each tires. And do check that all the 4 tires are of same brand or not, and whether all the tires are having same manufacture date. Now, I have replaced all the tires, so all the tires are of same manufacture date. So you should definitely check whether the tires are in good condition or not, because tire replacement is very expensive. Normally nowadays most of the cars are having power windows, so check all the windows are working fine. So you should check all the power windows, because if there is a problem with the power window motor replacements are quite expensive. So if you find any one of them is not working, do negotiate with the owner regarding this problem. Check the interiors and check for any steering play, whether there is any steering play, or do it like this if there is any play, or do start the car and check whether there is any abnormal noise by turning the steering clockwise and anti-clockwise. If you find any abnormal noise coming during this operation, you will understand that you need to go for a heavy steering job, and steering jobs are very expensive. Now all the modern cars you get air conditioner as standard, and in a country like India where it's quite difficult to think of a car without an air conditioner, so when you are zeroing in on a used car, you must check the AC properly. So start the car and do check the AC at all blower speeds, so you will be able to check whether the blower speed is adequate or not, because if there is less blower speed, if you feel that the blower speed is weak, there may be a filter issue. But in older cars, suppose this is an 8-year-old car, in a 8 to 9-year-old car there may be serious issues with the air conditioner. And also when you start the AC, do check how much time it takes to cool the car. If it is quite a long time, then the compressor may be little bit on the weaker side. Or is there any squeaking noise from the compressor while you start the car or while you accelerate? So that is very important, and AC repairs are very expensive, so please do keep in mind to check the AC before you are zeroing in on the car. And also check all the music system if equipped, all the lights, switches, combination switches, so that they are working in perfect condition. These replacements in premium cars are a bit on the expensive side. And if you find any abnormality, but you have decided to take the car, maybe the car is mechanically sound on other areas, do negotiate with the owner on that. But my recommendation is, if the HVAC system is not that sound, it's better to keep away from that car, because we can't think of driving a car without an air conditioner in a tropical country like India. In fact, after taking the car, you will be immediately requiring the air conditioner. And my another advice is, if you are taking a mechanic with you, tell him to check the undercarriage, so that there are no visible signs of rust. Keep away from a rusted car. My advice is, you should always keep away from the rusted car. And now I will give you a test drive, and what you will notice during this test drive, whether the car pulls perfectly in each gear. So you will be satisfied that the gears are slotting perfectly. You need to slot each gear, and do check that it slots in every gear perfectly. Preferably you check the reverse gear and second and first. In most of the cars I have seen, if they are abused badly, these gears does not slot properly. So do check the gears, and after being satisfied with all these aspects, go for a test drive. In test drive, you will be able to understand whether the clutch is in good condition or not, because clutch replacements are also very expensive. So I will go for a test drive and finally give you the final verdict when you will go for that particular car. Now after you are satisfied with all these aspects. Now go for a test drive. That is very important. Never buy a car without any test drive, because in test drive you will be able to understand the car's dynamics, whether the steering is behaving perfectly, if there is any abnormal sounds while you cross over any unpaved areas. Do cross bumps and potholes deliberately, so that you can easily see if you hear any abnormal noise from the suspension, because suspension work is very expensive, remember that. So all these aspects should be taken into consideration. And if you don't understand all this, do take a mechanic with you, so that he will be able to ascertain all these major issues, if any is there, with that particular car. Now after a test drive, you should come across if the car has any traffic violations, or if there are any other law enforcing issues which can be easily found out. And do check the ownership status. If with the Vahan portal you can easily understand whether the car is first owner or it is having how many number of owners. That can be easily ascertained through Vahan portal. And also do check the tax status of the car, because all these things are very important before you zero in on a particular car. And do check the traffic violations also, how much traffic violations that car has, and if it is a hefty amount, avoid those cars. And do check the insurance and the pollution papers of that particular car, because a lot of car you will come across, you will see that the pollution has expired, or the car is polluting car and it has been blacklisted by the RTO. So check all these things before you have decided to go for this car. And after all this, if you find that everything is in order, you can zero in or select that particular car and do take signed copies of Form 2930. And if the car is with hypothecation, then ask the owner to remove that hypothecation clause, otherwise you won't be able to transfer the car. Because I have seen lot of owners, even after paying the bank loan, they don't delete this hypothecation clause. So that is also very important, because only the previous owner will be able to delete that hypothecation clause. So remember that, otherwise car won't be transferred in your name. So I think I have been able to cover all the aspects, what you should do and what are the things you should follow if you buy a used car. So if you find the video useful, please do subscribe and give a thumbs up. And if you have any comments regarding this particular video, do comment in the comment section below. I am always ready to answer all your questions. Thank you very much and goodbye. Please do subscribe.